Well, good afternoon, everyone. So, have you ever wondered why God has put us in certain circumstances in our lives, certain encounters that He has us go through? You know, He placed us in this world and He surrounded us with certain people in order to help, us to grow and to depend on Him. But in addition to that, God knew that our experiences would be used to serve others. It would be used to help somebody else. So whenever we're going through something, it's like, whatever that trial is, it's like, we do have our trials. But when we have our trials, it's like, why am I going through this? It's not only for us. Many, many times, whatever the pain, whatever suffering we're experiencing, it's going to be used later on to help somebody else. That's what God does. It's just how God works. And also, we're never alone in our walk with Jesus. He is always with us, just as the Father was with Jesus when He walked with the Father when He was here on the earth. So each of us has a calling that God has placed on us. That calling involves ministry that God has given us. But it's really not our ministry. It is the ministry that He is inviting us to join with Him in. So our walk, again, is never alone. And so we don't have to have that pressure feeling like, I'm doing this by myself, because we're not. So God is intimately involved, and He walks with us. And as we place our trust in God and diligently seek Him, we find our purpose, the purpose for why He's calling us to do what we do. And so it is through, I call, the ground of faith that we learn to walk and become more like our Creator. So that ground involves exercising faith, trusting in God, believing His purpose for our lives, even if we can't not see it clearly, because that's how faith is. So for years, I had no idea what God wanted for me in my life. All I knew was that I just wanted to prepare myself. So when I was in high school, I worked hard and I participated in a lot of different activities and tried to do well in class and just involve myself. And the same thing when I started Ambassador College. I just wanted to learn more about God. I didn't know really what He wanted me to do, but I just knew that, okay, if I just place myself under His hand, He will direct me and He will give me the purpose that He has for me. And so I had to dig into the soil of the ground and, kind of find those gold nuggets, of truth without being able to see them. That's faith, not being able to see. But once I stepped out and kept stepping out in my faith walk, God revealed to me His purpose. So today I'm going to want to remind us of what faith is and how faith helps us in all that we do. So we're going to take a look at Hebrews 11, verses 1 to 3 in the NIV version. I'm going to read two different versions, and I don't think he has the other version, but that's fine. I'm just going to start with the NIV version. Hebrews 11, 1 to 3. So now faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. This is what the ancients were commended for. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what was seen was not made out of what was visible. That's pretty deep. But you cannot see. Through the eyes of faith, we trust God, and He delivers, and He goes on. Now I'm going to read another version. It's called the Voice New Testament. You can just listen to this. I don't think he has it on there. But faith is the assurance of things you have hoped for, the absolute conviction that there are realities you've never seen. It was by faith that our forebears were approved. Through faith, we understand that the universe was created by the Word of God. Everything we now see was fashioned from that which is invisible. So, I keep mentioning, walking by faith, faith walk. So, we step out, we try things, we believe that God has our best interest in mind, and we do what He says, knowing that He will take care of the rest, accomplish the goals that we want to have accomplished. And after I had graduated from Ambassador College, for about almost 7 years, I really wasn't sure. Again, it's like I'm walking by faith. I learned a lot about God at Ambassador, but I still didn't know what God wanted me to do. So I I worked all kinds of jobs. I worked at Postal, I did landscape, I did high-rise window cleaning, I did a whole bunch of different things. And it wasn't until almost 7 years later that it came to me. I talked with Lee Sniffen, and it's like, I like working with people, but I like more one-on-one or small group working with people. So I went on ahead and got a master's degree in counseling. And the start of that was very difficult because 7 years had gone by. I was 33 years old, and I was thinking, I want to get married. And I met Sean. That's when I met Sean. And it was like, oh, man. And that's how faith is sometimes. Faith doesn't, sometimes we have to walk by faith when we don't want to walk. But that's how it works. So I focused my attention on my studies. In 2.5 years, I got my master's degree. And it was like, it gave me confidence. And I had a record that was behind me to show that there's a track record. And that's like learning to walk by faith. Faith challenges us because we cannot see the end result of our faith. But we only know that the way to achieve the end result is to be obedient and to go forward and trust God. So this applies, again, to our ministries and to every aspect of our lives. It is only through the ground of faith that we learn how to walk with God and do His will. And whatever we do, we must apply faith for it to be successful. I like the way the Voice states this. They have a quote in the Voice. It's not straight from the scriptures, but it describes faith, and I love this. I'm just going to share this with you. Faith begins as hope, and indeed is unseen. So many doubt that it is real. That's the hard part, because you can't see. What follows is the proof that faith is a reality that can be trusted. I like that. So then I have one more question. Where does faith come from? Faith comes from God. He gives us faith as a gift. And that gift is used to help other people, and it's to serve others. And God says in Hebrews that without faith, it is impossible to please Him. Faith is given to those who earnestly seek Him. So I pray that you use your faith to grow and to serve others in every aspect of your life. So I say, walk by faith.